Hey everyone, welcome back to Agents Confidential. I'm Eric. We've got Yana as always, and our wonderful guest today is Oyuki Lucas. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice.
We're
I'm
happy
glad
to
you
have
could.
you on. Oh, Yuki, for those who don't know you or your role, tell us about your role at Blue Cross Blue Shield and what you enjoy most about it.
Yeah, yep. So I am one of the two dedicated Medicare sales consultants for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. I essentially work with all of the general agencies that are assigned to my roster and then all of their downline agents. So I work essentially throughout the entire state. I don't have a specific territory that I manage. It's all kind of based on the GA and where those agents live and work is kind of where I go. One of the fun things about the job is that no day is the same. For the most part, I'm able to kind of set up my own calendar so I can do meetings during the beginning of the week if I want to, or I can move them out later. So there's tons of flexibility. I really do enjoy that. And then, of course, like the fun parts of my job where I get to host agents for events. We do a lot of things at the Little Caesars Arena in the Detroit area. So yeah, it is fun. It's a lot of work, especially during AEP. It can get really busy, but it is fun.
Do you like kind of working in the field instead of like an office? Do you prefer being out and
Yeah,
about?
I do prefer being out and about, but having the office days is also good because then I can hone down and focus just a little bit better when I do have like the backlog of emails that I need to work through, which usually isn't crazy because I have Outlook on my phone, so I will multitask throughout the day. So it is nice to be out and about though, especially now that summer is here. Weather's better, traveling is just way easier now. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've definitely seen, and it's interesting. I mean, people are people regardless of industry. I feel like, for from a rep's role standpoint, a lot of people just they want the answer. They want the answer, they want the answer.
Hmm.
They want the information. But when you've actually like met somebody, shook their hand, spent some time with them, I think those requests for that information kind of come across a little bit differently when you know somebody.
I agree.
And to my knowledge, everybody's really enjoyed getting to know you. You've been very responsive. We look at this as an opportunity to help agents even get to know you a little bit better, right?
Hmm.
How long have you been in the Medicare industry, or how did you get into this line of work?
Yeah, yep. So in my early 20s, I worked at Holland Home, which is literally right across the street from you guys' office.
Yeah.
I worked right there
Yeah.
in the Raybrook Manor for a couple of years. And during my time there, I found that I have a special spot in my heart for what I used to call, I don't use this term now because I feel like it may not be politically correct, but I would call them my LOLs and my LOMs. So my little old ladies and my little old men.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So it was just like a cute little name that I came up with. And I found that I really have a special spot for older folk. Like I love listening to their stories that they had, the life advice that they would just give you, like unsolicited, but it was always just so good to hear. And during my time there, I thought, okay, well, maybe I want to do nursing and work like in a skilled nursing facility. So when I worked there, I actually did weekends. So I worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they were 12-hour shifts, which sounded great when I first took the job because I'm like, okay, I get like the basically like almost the whole week off. Well, that did kind of wear down. You do get tired. And so I was like, okay, yeah, let's do nursing. And then while I was going to school for nursing, I actually got hired at Priority Health. So that was the company that I was
Okay.
worked with before. I got hired in to do customer service for their provider team. So that was a Monday through Friday job. And then I realized I don't want to work weekends ever. So I decided to kind of pivot and say, you know what, nursing, I don't think it's going to be for me because I really don't want to work on the weekend anymore. Like I got very tired of it.
Yeah.
So I stayed with Priority for a little over 10 years. And throughout my tenure there, like I said, I
Wow.
started off in provider customer service. I did a small stint in the self-funded department, so working with commercial groups. that were self-funded in handling their customer service calls. And then I moved over to the finance area. So in finance, I worked in the commissions and licensing team, and I started off as an associate there, and then I worked my way up to supervisor. And that's where I got to get to know a lot of the agents and the general agency owners that are in the industry because, they would call about their payment or, maybe they were underpaid, overpaid, that type of thing, or wondering when they were going to get paid.
Yeah.
And when you get to know somebody on that particular level, it really does give you guys like a really good foundation to start a friendship on. So a lot of the
Totally.
general agency owners did have like my direct line when I was with Priority. And then I transitioned over to Blue. It's been actually 3 years now. So
Wow.
beginning of June was 3 years. It has gone by so fast. It does not feel like it's been 3 years. I will say that. It's been such a blessing to my family to get to have this new role, meet a ton of new people. So people that I knew like by having phone conversations or emailing with them. I got to meet a lot of them in person once I transitioned to this role. So that's been really neat. I'm kind of putting faces to the names that I already knew. So yeah, when I first joined Blue, I was the sales consultant for both the Medicare and ACA side, which was challenging to kind of pick up because I just knew like the finance, the commissions, like
Hmm.
onboarding piece. I knew that by heart, like the back. It was just so organic for me. But then moving into sales was a little bit of a challenge, especially with Medicare eligibility. Like I would lose sleep at night because I was like, I don't know if I am going to pick this up as fast as I want to pick it up. And you really don't. Like it is something, it's definitely with Medicare, I'm still learning. 3 years in and I don't know it all. I have colleagues here who have been here for 10 plus years and they're like, you're never going to be like the know-it-all. Things are always changing.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that I will work hard to find an answer. I know that my agent's time is also money. They're sitting in front of a client, they need a quick answer. And I put that pressure on myself to find those quick answers as fast as I can so that they can close a sale, get a new client, build their books.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think it shows. A lot of agents really, really appreciate that about you. I had no idea you were with Priority Health for 10 years.
Yeah, yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
live
cool.
here in the Grand Rapids area, and a lot of my agents do go hard for green. I will say that it is a great company. Blues is equally as good. I'm trying my hardest to kind of bring everybody over to the blue side, and slowly but surely, I do see improvement. So that's really good.
I find it's one of those things when I mean, you have experience with the top two in the marketplace, right? It's not like you're, fifth fiddle. I've heard agents say it's a blue or green state, so I think you're in a great position. And I find a lot when I used to rep a specific company in a different industry that sometimes you're just one screw up away from getting a new client, right? And having loyalty or figuring out a problem or being there for somebody, which you really have. You've done a great job with that. And, kudos to you on, owning, not knowing everything, but being willing to go find the answer. In your opinion, Oyuki, what's one of the best parts of working with agents or kind of having that agent carrier relationship?
So I think one of the best parts is watching everybody grow. So I like to focus on the newer agents, so agents that maybe just got licensed, recently appointed. They may not they're green, right? I would love to be a stepping stone in their career as an agent and helping them build their book and setting like that foundation. That's what I want to be to my agents. I want them to look back one day and say, gosh, when I first started, working with blues, Oyuki helped me so much. Like she was the one who showed me how to do this, showed me the ins and outs, that type of thing. I want to be a building block for other people.
Well, careful what you ask for. We got some newbies for you.
Love that answer. I think that's a really special one. And I do think it shows. I mean, everyone in our office has nothing but good things to say and she's
Yeah.
always so helpful. And so I think you're definitely accomplishing that so far.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What kind of questions are agents asking you right now? I know it's kind of downtime and prepping for AEP, but do you have questions that agents are asking you a lot right now?
So, I mean, really the main questions that I'm hearing right now is, what is Blues going to look like for this upcoming AEP? There's not a whole lot that I can say just right now, but we did recently send out an agent bulletin to the agent community, letting them know about our upcoming road shows. And there is a theme of steady growth. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it. So we're hoping to bring good news to the agents this coming September.
Nice.
Like
Nice.
that.
Yeah. What do you think agents should be prepping for heading into AEP? When you're talking to even your newer agents, or it's their first or second AEP, like, do you have any advice for those agents as far as like reviewing their book of business or anything along those lines?
Yeah. So I like to so any of my agents that I haven't talked to in a while, because we keep track of all the communication that we have with our agents. If it's been a while since we last chatted, I want to make sure that they have all their latest and greatest contracting information up. Because to me, that is a really big component to some of the issues that we see after AEP. So ensuring that we have the correct email. Last year, we did print agent information on some member letters that went out, and then we had agents reach out and like, hey, that's actually like not the right phone number. It's like, well, that's what we had on file and you didn't update it. So then we're kind of dealing with that fallout. So ensuring that the carrier has the latest and greatest information, your email, phone number, mailing address is a big one too, especially when we get requests for shipping materials out. We want to make sure that we have the suite number if there is one, or any, down the hall to the right type of directions. So that I would say is a big one. Ensuring that you're aligned with the general agency is another huge thing for agents that are selling Blue Cross. You want to make sure that we have the correct GA on file. And then, of course, making sure you can log into Agent Portal. Sometimes if you don't log in within a specific time frame, it will inactivate. So you don't want to try to log in right as you're meeting with clients, and then you're going through like this whole rigmarole trying to get your account reactive. So making sure you can log in, making sure that your calendar is up to date. I know a lot of our agents that we work with use I forget the name of it, Calendarly.
Calendly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
making sure that your calendar is up to date so that you're not double booking yourself. Also, too, making sure that you're taking breaks for agents. Last AEP was just wild, and I remember having conversations with agents well into the evening, 9:30, and they're like, "Yeah, we're just having dinner," and it's like it's almost 10 o'clock. So just reminding agents to take care of yourself too as a human, making sure that you're drinking water, having enough food that will kind of help give you the energy that you'll need to kind of push through those hard and fast weeks of AEP.
I wonder if anybody outside the industry thinks AEP is like climbing Mount Everest because we're talking about making sure you pack meals and
Yeah.
you've got
Yeah.
you've got all your supplies, and it's like we're taking on this mountain. No,
Yeah,
it's
no, I
a
mean, it
great
really is
answer.
though. Like it's such a short time span, and the amount of work agents have to do, it just blows my mind how agents get it done.
Yeah. I love those answers. We haven't heard these yet either. So this is really, really helpful. And I know that you touched on it briefly too.
Mm,
Contracting,
mm.
making sure that your for agents to make sure that their contracts are up to date and,
They're ready to
certifications and
sell.
stuff.
Yeah, they got all their certs, and
Yeah.
I heard somebody, they're like, "Well, I said I wanted it. Can I sell it yet?" I'm like, you can't just ask and then not do anything else. Like, there are steps to setting everything up to go.
Yeah.
And I think something too as simple as making sure that your carriers have updated information.
Mhm.
It's probably something agents don't think about, but that's really, really good.
Yeah,
It's
especially
something that they can do
banking
now.
too. Yeah, that's a big
Yeah.
one too after AEP, where agents weren't letting us know that they switched from a checking to a savings or that type of thing. So it's good to keep in mind, like to make sure that we have the right information.
That's a good one. I
Are
like that a
there
lot.
are there I call them usual suspects of like resources that you have that agents aren't taking advantage of, or maybe they're not even aware of them?
I would say that yes, it's sometimes surprising when I work with some of my agents that they don't realize all of the resources that we have available for them in the Blue Cross Blue Shield agent portal. And it is kind of by design because of the way that our portal is set up. So when an agent first logs into the agent portal, that isn't necessarily where they have to go to do everything for individual business. So there's a separate leg of the website that is dedicated for the individual agent. That's called the Individual Business Agent Community. And so sometimes when the agent logs in and they get to that main landing page, they think, okay, yeah, this is where I need to go to view my book of business. But that page is actually more geared towards commercial business.
Mm.
And so an individual agent that's not selling group, they need to go to sometimes it's shortened as IBAC. Again, it's Individual Business Agent Community. And that is where the individual agent who sells ACA U65 and individual Medicare goes to do their daily items. So they'll view their book, they'll quote and enroll. You have to make sure that you're in the individual business agent community. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
We'll highlight that a little bit more this year during the road shows because it is it's probably like the number one thing that confuses new agents where they're like, I'm trying to pull a report and I don't see anything. This report doesn't work. And it's like, well, where are you pulling it from? Are you in the IBAC? And they're like, what's that? Okay, that's our answer. You're not there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're hoping to kind of improve the website in the future. I don't know if we'll have it ready for this AEP, but it is definitely on our leadership's list of things to improve. So fingers crossed that will happen sooner than later.
Nice.
We're doing everything that we can to make doing business with Blues easier. So I'm very proud about that.
That's awesome. Any other resources for agents to stay informed, like throughout the year instead of just heading into AEP, just to stay kind of updated on everything? Do you have any resources like that?
Yeah. So in the agent libraries, there is a Medicare documents folder where we update all of basically anything that an agent needs to do business. It's all going to be there. Now it is in subfolders, so you do have to kind of dig just a little bit to find what you're looking for. And if you can't find it, they can always reach out to me and I'm happy to send over a PDF. But so we have agent library and resources there. And then one of the things that I recommend to newer agents that are selling Medicare that really helped me when I first transitioned into this sales consultant role was the Medicare and You handbook. That was almost like a Bible for me, like the first couple of years, because they offer the document, it's PDF, the digital format online. And if I ever had a question where they're like, hey, like this person is, I don't know, like they held off because they weren't ready to retire. So many different eligibility questions come up with Medicare. And sometimes I myself am like, oh gosh, I'm not sure. So then I will refer to the Medicare and You handbook. And it's so helpful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Have it saved.
I look at it like it's almost like the rule book for golf.
Yeah.
Where, remembering all the rules, it can be very, very challenging. And then sometimes when you have to give somebody maybe not so great information, right? You get a 2-stroke penalty or, sorry, you're not eligible to enroll because of this. It's nice to be able to show them in the book that this isn't just coming out of my head. Right? I'm not just making this up on the fly. These are the rules. If you could sit down with a Medicare agent for 5 minutes before AEP starts, what would you want them to hear?
I would want them to hear that although it will be a busy season, you will get through it. You'll get through it and lean in on your carrier reps if you don't know something. Like that is quite literally what we're here for, is to help you. So if you're spending more than 2 minutes trying to figure something out, reach out to us, because if I can save you 5 minutes, 10 minutes of trying to research something, I'm happy to. Like that honestly makes my day. So you got this. We're here for you. I'm here for you. And the only way to get through it is to go through it. I mean, yeah.
The only way out is through. That's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Too much coffee this morning, I think.
No, you're good. You're good. I really like that. And I think I like that Blue Cross is going to be giving some good news or planning to give some good news this
Yeah.
year.
Well, we did
Um,
all of our crazy changes last AEP, so
yeah,
we've gotten through that.
yeah.
That's great.
And it was a crazy one.
It was a lot of change happened last year, especially for my agents that are in the northern part of the state. Yeah, a lot of change.
Yeah,
So,
for
like I said,
sure.
we're looking forward to giving them good news this year.
I love that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we have some little rapid fire questions, just some fun little things, just for agents to kind of get to know you a little bit better. So, first one, coffee or tea?
Coffee. I
Coffee,
can
for
drink
sure.
coffee at like 4 or 5 o'clock and fall asleep like a baby. Now I will wake up at 3 or 4 because I have insomnia, but I will no problem falling asleep. But yes, I love coffee.
Yeah. Morning person or night owl?
I'm gonna say neither because I don't like getting up early, but then I also can't stay up super late anymore. Like it's like 9:30 and I'm like, I'm tired. Like I can't do this anymore. I'm like 60 years old on the inside. So, I'm an old lady now. I want to be in bed by
You're one of your
9:30.
LOLs.
Yes. Yeah, they
I love that. Those
Mhm.
phrasing. I think that's so cute. Favorite place to travel?
Right now, I would say Guatemala. We're actually getting ready to go back next month. So I'll be taking some time off. I've been once before. My husband is from Guatemala. And when we went, it's so green and it's so hilly. Like here in Michigan, I didn't realize how flat it is until I went outside of the country and it's just like rolling hills. They have volcanoes. We did an active volcano hike when we last went. It's really nice, and I'm almost like I want to like influence everybody to go because it's such a good country. Yeah, it's a beautiful country. Their capital, which is Guatemala City, it's like Chicago. Like it's so modern. Like it blew my mind with how modern the city is and how they have a city within a city, which is also really neat. So yes, I would say Guatemala right now.
I love that. That's so cool. And one word to describe AEP.
Describe AAP.
PG
I
13.
would say,
PG
yeah,
13.
of course. I would say wild because wild to me I use wild as a positive and as a like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. That's wild, right? So wild because you can use it both in a positive and maybe like, oh man, that's not so good.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then our last rapid fire is best piece of career advice you've ever received.
Just always maintain your integrity. I think is one that's always kind of stuck with me. What's right is right, and you should do that. Yeah, just maintain your integrity.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's huge in this industry too.
Yeah, if you say you're
I,
going
I
to do
used a
something, follow
similar,
through. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Follow up, follow through. I heard or came up with something similar where if I had a logo on my shirt, I would cover it and say, I'm working with you as Eric, right? It doesn't necessarily matter what logo's on my shirt. I'm here to try to help you because you don't know what's going to happen, right? Just in your case in point, you were with Priority. If you'd been bashing every other company out there, now when you go work for a different company, people remember those things, right?
Yeah.
You have to keep that integrity that way. We do the wrap up question because that's where we're at. I really want to understand the idea of when carriers stop paying commissions, when they
Mhm.
terminate plans without a crosswalk, at least those two right now, just from a standpoint of agents are like, they tell us how important we are to them and then they stop paying commission. Like,
Mhm.
can we talk about this? Do you have thoughts, opinions, anything that we can have a dialogue about?
Yeah, yep. So last year was very difficult with us reducing service plans for a couple of plans for our prime value and our essential. That was difficult. We did our best to try to have a plan that was within the range that we could crosswalk, but
Mhm.
with all of the changes that we made, that just wasn't going to be possible. CMS will allow a crosswalk if the plan is I think it's like a $40 range. So if there's more than a
Mhm.
$40 difference,
And benefits too, right? Like you
right,
can't just
with benefits,
strip a
yes.
plan down and say, you were here, now you're down here, good luck.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
So we really wish that hadn't happened, but it did. And we did reduce commissions on the prime value plan. So anybody new going into that plan does see a reduction in the commission that's paid out. From what I can say is that Blue Cross Blue Shield is very conservative when they make changes. It's one of the reasons why we have been around for as long as we have been. We don't take any choice that we've made has gone through 7 rounds of, okay, what are we going to do if this scenario happens? Or what if this happens? Or what if we stay the same and don't change anything? So that's one of the things that I do appreciate about Blue is that they take everything into consideration. And so when we did announce that those cuts had to be made, it was a difficult decision and choice, and communicating that with the agents was also hard. My director, Mike Zayer, and our VP, Joshua Meeks, attended the roadshows with us last year to deliver that message to our agents, face to face. As far as the commissions goes, I haven't heard anything of us cutting any more commission than what we were currently seeing. But again, I don't have anything that I can really share right now.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think what you've
It
said so
is a very
far,
hard line to walk.
Yeah.
yeah, no, but it casts a good light on it's not just one person going, screw those people.
Yeah.
Slashed.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah.
great on a spreadsheet. Let's do it, right? Like it's not that. And I think I haven't really heard your answer, which I really like because I feel like it puts a lot of context around like it's picking the lesser of two evils.
I think too, personally, I kind of forgot CMS had anything to do with plan changes. There's so many factors that go into those plan changes. And I mean, CMS has those regulations and you got to follow them. And it's hard, but no, I think that you handled AEP with a lot of grace last year. I can't imagine having to deliver all of that news because so many of these people have loved the Prime Value plan. And even, I mean, talking to clients, they're like, well, why are you changing this plan? This isn't why this isn't the same plan. I'm like, plans change, And it was just like a big disrupt year, but
Well, and you had touched on it like the long-term health of Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's we're terminating these plans in this area, but we still have hundreds of thousands, millions of members elsewhere that we need to make sure that we can take care of as well, right? It's like financially responsible decisions come hard.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And just one last thing that I would say in regards to the commissions, based off of what I've heard my leadership say, is they do feel strongly about keeping commission dollars here within the state. So I don't see us cutting commissions, like I said, any further than what we already have, just because of, we do value the agents. And it may not seem that way when those hard changes are coming down the pipeline and they're affecting people's pockets at the end of the day. But for the long-term strategy, they're necessary changes. So
yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
100%. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate your candor. Oh, before we wrap up, we always have a closing question we like to ask every guest. If an agent listening to this episode took one piece of advice from your experience in this entire industry, what would your advice be working in this industry?
advice working in this industry would be to be okay with change. You'll have to kind of learn how to remarket yourself almost every year based on the plans that are being offered out there and based on your competition. What somebody down the road is doing might work for them and it might work for you if you try it out, it might not. You just have to be willing to be okay with change because everything changes every year. Being comfortable with the uncomfortable, sometimes when you're sitting in front, with a client and they ask a question that you may not know, you got to be able to kind of answer it in a way that makes it seem like you do know. If that makes any sense.
I'm pretty sure this is the answer, but let me verify that and I'll get back to you. Don't hold me to it because if you don't know, you don't want to be talking out of your backside.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to get into any compliance issues later down the line where they're like, well, they said that it was, or, that type of thing. So just being clear in your messaging and your wording that, like you said, I'm not sure, but I will find out. I'll get the answer. I'll reach out to my carrier rep.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, just lean in on the resources that you have, I think is another really big one too. Like I said, I do my best to reach out to agents and try to get to know them on a more personal basis because I feel like once you know somebody a little bit more personally, the work relationship just flows organically. So any agents that are watching this, if we haven't met in person yet, I would love to meet you for coffee, lunch, what have you. I want to get to know my agents with Agent Equity Group.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have your contact information posted in the links and comments and
If you're
things
okay
like
with
that.
that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Please do. Yeah.
Well,
I'm on LinkedIn too, so send me a request. I'll find people. As I meet with somebody, I will go and look them up. I'm like, okay, let's find them. I'll be their stalker.
I love that. I really liked your advice too. I think it's a big thing for agents, just like what you said. I mean, plans change every year. You have to be able to adapt and you have to be able to change how you present yourself to your clients. So I think
Absolutely.
that's
And I
huge.
think this year more so than ever because AI is kind of coming into the mix. You know, we're seeing people who are, aging in and they're tech savvy. They know how to work a computer. They know how to go to Google, Gemini, or ChatGPT. And I'm curious to see how that's going to pan out because not only are you competing with your neighborhood agent, but you're almost now also competing with an AI tool because I feel like people will use AI a lot this AEP to try to figure out, okay, what's the best plan for me? Like try to do like a homegrown type of thing, quoting themselves, which is scary in a sense because it's like, what, is it going to give them the right information? Is it going to pitch a plan that works for them. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that's going to pan out this AAP.
Yeah. Well, I hope people don't put their personal information in there too.
Yeah,
Like once you put your medical information in Chat GPT, it's there.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
vulnerable
scary.
population and it is very scary because yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. All the more reason to work with an agent.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. The local
Definitely.
agent I think is where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was great. Yeah.
We've really enjoyed the time. Great info. You're a great resource. Very responsive, which is what all agents are looking for. I know I've texted you at weird hours and you're always getting back to me or saying, hey, let's talk first thing the next day, which that's all anybody can ever ask for. So,
Yeah.
no, we'll be seeing you at the rollouts and the road shows and I think we're going to do the tailgate again and all the things. We get all of our gear together to climb this mountain of AEP.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I hope I did good.
You did.
Yeah, you did great.
You
Yeah.
did great. Thank you, Oyuki.
Yeah,
You're
thank you
welcome.
so
Thanks for having
much.
me. I
And
appreciate it.
yeah, and thanks to our listeners for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.